Welcome back to the Castle Grounds Apiary. Today we're going to go over something you've probably never seen before, something that's probably never been done before. So if you are a beekeeper, just a general YouTube lover, or someone who likes data and analytics as it pertains to beekeeping and or YouTube, you might find this interesting. So what I started doing back in December of 2020, I knew that we were going to start a YouTube channel for our apiary, Castle Grounds Apiary. While it has admittedly been a slow start, I thought that doing some research on the front end might kind of help us in our pursuits to being a successful channel. So, being that for my normal full-time job that I collect a lot of data and analyze statistics and use spreadsheets, I thought, well, I might be able to use that skill set to help kind of refine what we're doing. So what I decided to do was to manually collect all of the YouTube public data that is supplied for all the major beekeeping channels that were active at the time, which is still pretty much relevant. So I started this at the very end of November of 2020. So I've got the full month of December. And what I did was I decided to make a list of each and every beekeeping centric channel I could find. Now there are quite a bit, but you actually have to dig for some. And I'm going to go ahead and share my screen here so you can kind of see who I was looking at in December. And I hope this is visible to you. If it's not, I apologize. But everybody knows the big ones. jpthebeeman, 628 Dirt Rooster, Barnyardbees, Frederickdunn, Cayman Reynolds, Ian Stepler, which is the Canadian Beekeepers blog, I think he calls it, John Chrisman. Those guys, not John Chrisman, Jason Chrisman. Sorry, Jason, if you see this, I apologize. Anyway, so these guys have been making videos for a long time. What I wanted to know when we started was, would making beekeeping YouTube videos be worth our time? Would people care? Would people watch them? So I decided I needed to take an analytical approach, chart the data, collect it monthly, and review what does the beekeeping YouTube audience look like? Is there a market for new entrants? And I didn't know what to expect because YouTube doesn't really give you much information. What they'll tell you, a snapshot. So they don't give you historical data. They'll tell you at a point in time, how many total views does a YouTube channel have? How many subscribers does it have? And how many videos have they posted that are public? And they'll tell you how many views that video has, among some other things that I started to collect at first and that I realized weren't that helpful. So what I started to do month over month was to go in at the end of every month and I would input manually, mind you. And I say, it wasn't me, I made my 14-year-old do it for me. I'm trying to teach him Excel. I would have him manually input for each and every line item what the current total views for the channel were, what the current subscriber count was, which isn't always accurate because they round it to the 100th place if you're sub 100,000, and they round it to the 1,000th place, I believe, if you are beyond 100,000. So we kind of have to, that number's a little bit fudged, but it's close enough. And then finally we enter in the amount of videos posted that month. What I'm trying to understand is, what is the YouTube beekeeper activity level? How many videos are we posting as a community? And how many views are we garnering as a community? And then subsequently, how many additional subscribers are we getting on a per month basis? I want to understand, is our community growing? Is it staying the same? Is it declining? So that's where we're at. I've been doing that now for 7 months. Sorry, 6 months, 6 full months of data I've collected. And to me, this is invaluable information. And it may not be valuable to everyone, but if you're on this list, it might have some value to it. So what I would like this to end up being is every single month I'll do a recap and we'll see how the community is doing, because the total views, the total subscribers, the videos we post, that kind of lends credence to our health as a YouTube community. And I think that's important because everybody who makes these videos, they do it for a reason, whether it be altruistic and they just want to give back to the greater community and the greater knowledge base, or if they're doing it for revenue, because some of these people are actually making some decent money off this. So I just want to understand where we're at and what the trajectory of our group is. So right now, the market for beekeepers on YouTube is like this, and I would really like to see it expand, because in all honesty, we are a very small segment of the overall YouTube pie, if you will. You know, the YouTube pie is like this, and we are a tiny sliver, and there are a few YouTubers that kind of comprise a majority of that, and then the rest of us kind of fall in that last category. So I'll just go ahead and share with you some quick high-level comments from the last 6 months and let you chew on that, and then maybe next month I will do a deep dive into the May analysis, because we have December, January, February, March, April. Sorry, we only have 5 months. I keep saying 6 months. May is the 6th month. So we have 5 months of full data. And then beginning of June, which is a month from now, I'll be able to dive into May and give you top performers, which YouTuber had the most views, who posted the most videos, who's getting the most subscribers per video, that type of thing. That's what I really want to see, is who's grinding it out and who's falling behind. Not that that really matters, other than it entertains my curiosity. So one thing that I would like to point out is back in December, YouTube, and I get it, before we go any further, this does not encompass every single YouTube beekeeper. It encompasses the top 50 or so. And based on the data I've collected so far, if you're not in the top 50, you make up less than 1% of the total subscriber and total viewage base per month. Maybe less than half of 1%. Because what we'll see here is that there are, let me figure out how to work my computer here, there are 4 big names in YouTube beekeeping. And if you don't already know, I will tell you now. It is David at Barnyard Bees, it is JP the Beeman, 628 Dirt Rooster, and Frederick Dunn. Now, Frederick Dunn, I kind of debated on whether putting him in this list, because he's not beekeeping centric. He's not exclusively beekeeping. He is predominantly beekeeping, but he has some other interest and subject matter that could possibly funnel non-beekeeper audiences to his channel. But I put him in here because it's mostly beekeeping, and he does a great job covering that content, and he has kind of a unique approach to it. So, so back in December, beekeeping channels had 5.3 million views on YouTube with 18,000 subscribers gained that month. Now, subscribers, it's not the same as views, in that subscribers can layer. So, for instance, I could subscribe to all 55 people on this list in a month, and so one person equals 55 subs. So that's not meaning there's 18,000 unique subscribers, that's 18,000 subscriptions, which, being that we're such a small community, I still think that's a legitimate and noteworthy value to consider. Now, in January, we were down 1 million total views, but still had 21,000 additional subscribers. And which month was it? So one thing that I do like to track is what is the percentage growth on the period, and I'm measuring percentage growth not on total views but on subscribers, because I don't know, that's just what I'm doing. I could add a percentage growth on period based on views only, but right now it's just subscribers, just because I think that's a more telling sign of actual growth or development in the segment. Views, I don't know. You can have a lot of views without getting the subscribers, and to me that's not growth. That's momentary popularity, if that makes sense, which we will see some of that. Texas Bee Works. So January, it's slow. As people are overwintering, there's not a lot of interest in bees. We get it. So let's jump to February. February, we go from 4.3 million views down to 3.4 and down to 19,000 subs on the period. February was the bleakest month, and that is probably to be expected, but we jump to March and we make a pretty significant rebound. We're talking almost a 90% rebound on total views from one month to the next. Almost 5.5 million views with 43,000 plus subscribers gained. Now, I mentioned the subscriber growth versus view growth, and Texas Bee Works in March is a perfect example of why I measure subscriber growth versus view growth, because that's when Erica Thompson, the kind of the figurehead of Texas Bee Works, or I guess the main beekeeper, she posted the video where she was in the shed and she did the cutout, and that went viral on pretty much every platform you can imagine. She was on every major news outlet that we are exposed to. So she had huge views that month, and she also had a huge pop in subscribers, but her overall subscriber base is still relatively small compared to the big four. And when I say the big four, I'm talking about Barnyard, 628, JP, and Frederick. I call him Fred in my head. And so she's still very small compared to their numbers, because she has these spikes and these drop-offs and these spikes where their growth is very linear almost. So March was a big rebound, and then we jump into April. What does April look like? Whew. Best month to date. 9.4 million beekeeping views in April with 52,000 subscribers gained. That is intense. And I don't even know what to expect from May, June. I feel like May and June are probably going to be the pinnacle of the season, because the guys like 628 and JP, who are two of the big four, are really swarm heavy. A lot of their big videos are from swarms, cut out removals, and so this is that time of year, May, June, July, so that they kind of really they're front loaded on their video content, and like 628, he's been doing this for a while. You can tell he kind of spreads his out. His content's not always I filmed today, I post today. Some of his is kind of I filmed in the past, now you're seeing it. So we're to April now, and this video is going on as long as I intended it to, but I wanted to give you an insight into what I'm doing here, and then what I would like to do is deep dive into a monthly analysis, give all these people a fair shake, look at what were the view drivers, the subscriber drivers for a specific month, for a specific high-performing channel, and maybe who's on the downtrend. Not to bash anybody, but I think it's smart to review what causes channels to decline versus incline, grow, and all that. So if you have any questions about this data specifically, or how we collect it, or what it looks like, or a specific question about the stats or analysis on maybe metrics that I don't calculate based off what I've collected, I'd be happy to share that with you. Where are we at? All 31 of you subscribers. I'm sure chock full of questions, and I realize this is a lot of effort to go into for a very, very, very small subscriber base, but I suspect that this will have a long-term benefit that I have just not realized yet. So with that, I hope you found that insightful or informative. We are taking a unique approach to beekeeping and beekeeping information and just a whole other side of it. There's plenty of great YouTubers on here that teach you how to manage a hive. We're not even that good at managing hives yet, but we want to help kind of really flesh out the whole community. Everyone's got a space, and this is kind of where I would like to contribute our efforts. So with that, appreciate you guys watching. Stay tuned for more concrete hive updates and blunders in beekeeping as you know it. Thanks for watching.